Evidently undeterred by current industry standards, Ducky continues to release the 1-2 Mini without hot swap, instead choosing to expand the switch selection with seemingly every restock. I have the new Blackout version in-house today, and I found something really interesting inside. The Heart linear switch. It looks like TTC is finally trying to get involved in the enthusiast switch market, so we'll take a look at the gold-pink linears today, as well as the bluish white tactiles. You ready? Let's go! The last thing we're going to do today is rehash a full 1-2 Mini review. The latest version is called the Blackout. It sports the same glossy black lower that we saw on the last Ducky and HyperX collab. This model is a mechanicalkeyboards.com exclusive. Shout out to them for sending all this stuff out today. The logo here is in dark purple and white. The extra keys are gray with yellow legends this time around, and they are including a Year of the Bull spacebar, though sadly my copy came with 2 switch pullers and no spacebar. Out of the box, the typing experience was actually very good. It was light, it was crisp, I didn't get any ping at all. I felt like I detected a little bit of scratch. I had to know more. As these boards are not hot swap, I had to do a little surgery. Brr, brr, brr. I don't have one of those cool desoldering guns. I have this dog shit one here from Amazon. Look at these. I really like these. Oh, have you seen this yet? Gateron makes these and I'm in love with this thing. Listen to this. First time I used this, I thought I crushed my switch like a walnut. I'm not a big fan of their puller, even the revised version, but I like this a lot. So there's a lot going on with these Heart linears. The top and bottom housing are both polycarbonate, like on a Zeal switch. The bottom post that mounts into the PCB is PA66 nylon. That's what the bottom of Cherry switches are normally made from, but here it's only this small section. You may vaguely remember this from the iodine board we looked at, where they swapped the bottom of the Zeal housing with full PA66. Production boards use a technique called wave soldering, and that normally gets way too hot to use a polycarbonate bottom, but that's how they're getting around this. It's pretty inventive. We've got gold-plated springs, long too, at like 22 millimeters. It says the actuation force is 42 grams. Total travel is 3.8 millimeters, actuation at 2 millimeters. The stem itself is wild. It's 3 separate components. Palm on the lower, PC on the upper, and PC as well on this heart design, which is sandwiched in there. The leaf appears to be a silver material with smaller gold contact points. Don't hold me to that. The translation is pretty rough. It's a really unique looking switch. You can kind of hear the spring if you hold it up to your ear and listen for it, but the spring noise doesn't resonate like on a Zeal. It's muted here. Overall sound is high pitched, kind of sharp, kind of like a Tangy. It is MX compatible, but they went with that round barrel post like we see on Kale Silent stuff. It's actually pretty stable. I like these. I think Ducky may have the exclusive on these for a while, but it will be interesting to see the price point when they finally do come to market. They may be available at an overseas vendor right now. I don't know. As it is, it would be pretty pricey to cop one of these 1-2 Minis just to harvest the switches. Of course, you could always just buy a 1-2 Mini Blackout to have and use, but I feel like the market for that board is getting smaller and smaller all the time. Ducky really needs to come with that hot swap and some case dampening. They teased the hot swap PCB last December with the Year of the Rat limited edition, but they still haven't delivered on that for production models. As for some switches you can get your hands on right now, we've got the TTC gold and pink linears. These are a rectangular box stem design, and they're one of the lightest switches out with a 37 gram actuation, so probably great for gaming. Typing would be interesting on these. Pre-travel is 2 millimeters, total travel is 4. These again have those long springs. They're lightly factory lubed here as well. Actually pretty smooth stock, just a little hint of scratch. These are also stated to be both dust and water resistant. The comparisons to the Kale box line are pretty hard to ignore. I'd be interested to hear what Kale has to say about these. These are also plate mount or 3-pin. They're not as upfront about the materials used here, but to me it feels like a palm stem, PC top, and a PA66 lower. In terms of stem wobble, these feel good as well. Again, you can hear the spring if you hold it up to your ear, but there's no resonance here. These are higher pitched, a little softer than the Tangy. These are now available at mechanicalkeyboards.com and at Canon Keys, probably bang good as well. I was hoping these would be like a budget competitor to the GAT Yellow, but they're still roughly twice the price, at like 48 cents per at Canon Keys and 52 cents each at mk.com. They have a tactile in market as well with the bluish white. Very similar overall design and materials. The big difference here is the spring, which is long like the others, but it's segmented here. Got a 42 gram actuation here, 3.5 millimeter total travel, and actuation at 2 millimeters. You got a big round bump on these that starts right at the press. These are lightly lubed as well. I like these. They return fast. They're a deeper sound than the linears, but a pretty punctuated, sharp return sound as well. All 3 of these tested individually outside the board. I wouldn't have told you that you need to lube these at all, but after installing and typing on these, the gold pinks you can probably get away with no lube, but the bluish whites and the hearts I personally personally would lube those lightly with something really thin. Out of all of them, I'm the most stoked on the Heart Switch for sure, as it's one of the more interesting offerings I've seen lately in a very crowded switch market. This video today is made possible by the fine folks over at Brilliant. You've probably heard me talk about them on the channel before. Brilliant is an online learning platform that puts a big emphasis on active learning. That means learning through doing, as opposed to memorization and mindless repetition. They've been busy this past year too, redesigning courses that really up the ante on that interactivity. Brilliant teaches using a series of interactive challenges, problems, and storytelling. As I've moved through more of their courses, it's a really effective way to learn. One of the biggest professional toolkits you can have in your arsenal right now is a firm understanding of coding and algorithms. Their redesigned course on algorithm fundamentals is a great example of what I'm talking about. You actually learn by using rearrangeable blocks of code. So if coding is completely unfamiliar to you, you don't need any experience to get started, and it's really impressive how fast things start to click into place. And that is just the tip of the iceberg of a huge catalog of courses over on Brilliant. If you're ready to get smarter, visit brilliant.org/badseedtech or click the link down in the description. You can sign up for free. Seriously, check it out. It's an amazing resource, and it really helps to support the channel. As an added bonus, the first 200 of you to do so will save 20% off the annual membership. Big thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring today, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. All right, I think that wraps it up. Catch you guys in the next one. Stay up.